what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of 80 Days to Backcountry. I was just warming up, getting some deadlifts. I had a deadlift EMOM scheduled with a barbell push press EMOM today. Two separate things. If you're following along on run2gun.com on the members section, you're seeing that. I was warming up and just feeling tight. Back's not feeling that great this morning. I think it's actually just mainly dehydration. Spent an hour and a half hiking with a weighted pack yesterday, a lot of incline. I think I'm just more or less dehydrated from that. So I'm just gonna play it smart, and I'm gonna take you through some mobility and stretching that I do when I'm really tight on mornings like this. I haven't had one of these all summer. It's been a great summer, but now that I'm 3 weeks out from this backcountry hunt, I'm not going to be stupid and jack my back up or cause an injury. So at this point, it's about training very smart along with training intensely and really listening to your body because your body needs recovery. And obviously from my workout over the last couple weeks into this workout today, there wasn't enough recovery. So we're going to play it smart. We're going to get going with some stretching and mobility. So follow along. This is some great stuff. So really will help you feel better. First one, really basic. We're going to start with a kneeling hip mobility. So as you're kneeling, the back leg, you're stretching that hip flexor iliopsoas, and as you're pressing forward, think about dragging that back knee on the ground. You're not actually moving, but that's how the pressure should be applied. Now once you're there, just chest up. We don't want to be totally back arced, but just applying pressure forward. I like to hold for 3 or 4 seconds. I'm going to rock back, toe to the ground. Okay, so I'm stretching the front of that ankle, getting some ankle mobility. If you have tight hamstrings, you're going to feel it in the hamstring as well. Hold for a few seconds and rock back into that front. I'm going to flip directions for you here so you can see it from a side angle as well. So we're pushing forward, applying pressure into that hip. Going back. Many of you, many of my clients that I know I've worked with in the past deal with some back tightness, but a lot of it comes from having really tight hips, tight hamstrings. So if you can activate, release those a little bit, your back is going to feel so much better. So just because your back hurts doesn't mean it's necessarily stemming all from the back. Let's switch legs here. All right, so there's first round, the kneeling hip ankle mobility. We're just going to take you through a full routine, and hopefully by tonight, train a few clients here in a few hours. Feeling better, we'll hit a different workout tonight. We won't go heavy on the deads. We'll go something lighter today, or just hit some upper body. Hopefully I can still hit maybe those push presses, that push press EMOM tonight. Just X out the deadlifts. One more here. All right, from there we're going to go into hip adduction mobility. So the hip adductor is the muscle that runs on the inside of the leg, okay? So that's pulling your leg into the other leg, okay? So we want to line up our feet, knee, you got a yardstick, lining up in front of the toe. I like to throw my hands, just straddle the front knee, rocking back, keeping this foot on the floor. You're going to feel that stretch throughout there. If you have tight hips, you might feel it in that opposite hip as well. And I like to just do 2-3 second holds. 1, 2, come back to neutral. So lateral viewpoint. Here, pushing back, feeling that. Coming in. Just be careful on your first couple presses. If you've ever done this stretch, you're going to feel that. You might even feel it all the way to that inner part of the knee, so just stretch it easy. Just taking our time. Let's get 2 more here. Keeping that chest high. Try not to slouch that back as you're pushing back. All right, let's switch sides. Lining up the knee and the toe. Get one more here. Make sure we're breathing throughout the movements. All right. From there, we're just gonna flip over to our backs. And we're just gonna, little crossover, so bottom leg stays straight, top leg 90 degrees. Little T-spine mobility, reaching across. Try to keep this knee as close to the ground as possible. Slow back. Another way you can do this is if you have a little foam pad or a foam roller, you can always place it underneath the knee. Your mobility is a little tighter. Coming across. We're stretching that thoracic spine, as well as if you're tight here throughout the hips, lower back, you're going to get a little bit as well. 2-second holds again. Get one more. Just careful switching sides. Again, bottom leg's flat, straight, top leg 90 degrees. Little praying hands here. Going across, reaching for that floor. Oh, that's tight. And we have one more. Okay, we're going to bring it back up. We're going to go into dragon stretch. So, dragon stretch, I'm going to kind of angle this here a little bit for you. Front foot flat on the floor, and we want to pull it back. Okay, so it's challenging to push this heel to the floor. Once we're driving that heel to the floor, we're going to lean into this knee with our body weight and apply pressure down to the ground, okay? The goal is to stretch the Achilles as we're pressing that heel to the floor. If your hips are tight, again, you're going to feel it in the hips, but we're really gaining some ankle mobility, some Achilles mobility here as we're applying pressure down. If it's really easy, pull the foot back a little bit. Some people, this isn't as difficult. So if you have really good mobility here in the back of the leg, in that Achilles, this one might be really easy for you, but a lot of people struggle here. So keeping that loose will increase your, better your squat form, make deadlifting, squatting, lunging a little bit better. If you do a lot of hiking, you deal with some calf tightness, some soleus tightness, this is a great one for you. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Finding that right spot for yourself to make it challenging. Really pushing that heel to the floor again. Back foot can just be relaxed to the floor. If you can, try to straddle the knee. A lot of you like to come here, but you're not going to get the right pressure on that Achilles, on that ankle, on that foot, unless you straddle that knee. So try to do that. Deep breath out. One more push down here. All right, let's come on out. And we're going to go into a high frog mobility. So this one looks a little funny, but it works well. So knees getting wide, and feet are going to be, ankles are going to be actually pressed out. Your toes are going to be on the floor. Ankles pressed out, hands out in front. You're going to push back into the hips. We're targeting the hips here. Okay, it doesn't take a lot of movement, at least for me, to really feel that. Just come back to center. Adjust feet if you need to. Stay good posture. Pushing back. I got tight hips, so this is always a good one for me. Some people can sit all the way back into the ground. That's great. I cannot. But always work on it to get a little better. So a couple more movements here. I like to do the 2-3 second hold again. Try to gain a little bit of mobility on every rep. Coming back to center, just let it relax and reset. One more. Push in through the hands, push back. And back to center. All right. One more for the hips and ankles here. We're just gonna get up, a little alternating depth hold. So we're not gonna be actually in a full depth hold, just one side, applying your body weight down. Heel on the side you're working needs to be down. So on my left side here, I'm down. So I'm actually driving the knee out with my elbow. And then I'm applying my body weight pressure down into my heel. So I'm stretching my hip, my Achilles, everything here. I like to just rotate over. Again, pressing out with my elbow, down with my body weight into that right Achilles, down to that ankle, that heel. Just do like little 5-second holds and rotate. Okay, stretch portion is done. Let's jump on the foam roller. First one we got single leg glute roll. So I'm working on my left glute. I'm gonna lean into my left side. Okay, my left foot is gonna cross over and my left arm will be back to work that left glute. From there, slow roll. I'm working off of my right foot and my left hand to balance and push back and forth. Okay, so the key to get that left side is to have that left foot crossed over and lean towards your left. Keep those rolls nice and controlled. All right, we're gonna switch sides. Make a quick adjustment here on the camera. So right side, right leg will cross over, right arm is back, and again we're pushing off of that left foot and balancing off of the right hand. Focusing on the right glute. This one's a little tighter for me. A couple more in here. And we're going to go into lower back. So right there, just sit in, tighten up that core. We're just going to roll back and forth off of the heels. If you have one side that's a little tighter, you can kind of rotate back and forth per side, just lean one direction. I'm tight there this morning, so this one hurts a little bit. Target those spots that are a little more tender. It hurts, but feel better when you get up. And I'm just going to rotate down to my upper back, pulling my arms back. Working midway down the back, all the way up to my neck. Working off the feet. So you might be feeling this in your core. If your core is a little weak, it takes some core strength to hold yourself up. All right, let's flip forward. Let's get into the right quad. So again, right arm is going to be up here in like a plank position. Okay, left leg over the top to apply pressure. If it's too much, just keep it off to the side, okay? I like to apply a lot of downward pressure here. My left hand is up on the ground just to help balance and push off. You may have to adjust how far out this arm is to get a full roll from your hip all the way to your knee, okay? Just keep that nice and controlled. Just get a couple more here. Just Take you through kind of a quicker one today. Ideally, 60 to 90 seconds on every one of these. All right, switch sides. Left quad, left forearm on the floor, right hand up. Help balance and push. One more here. Okay, last one to finish. Just let everything relax. Just go into a little child's pose, just kneeling down, reaching out long, dropping everything to the floor. Exhale out. Deep breath out. Dropping everything to the floor. From there, I could just tell my abdominals are really tight, so I just throw in an extra here. I'm just gonna go into some seal stretch and just stretch my abdominals, which might have been why my back, because I can tell my back wasn't spinal. I can tell it was just this morning, it was just muscular. Both sides of my back, the muscles are just really tight and fatigued. So I think a little dehydration, but I also think my core, now that I got in that position, I can notice even when I deadlifted my first couple sets that my core was really tight. And it was almost crampy, and I could feel it there in that child's pose. I was kind of crampy, and I'm like, I get here and I can tell it's really tight, which can cause some back stiffness for me. So it's just about learning, a little bit about your body, what triggers what causes what for yourself, and then finding those remedies, those stretches, those mobility exercises, the activation exercises that will help keep you feeling great and healthy. That's the point of this. Exercise isn't just about going as hard as you can and being exhausted all the time. It's about listening and learning and progressing all the time. And definitely tight. Kind of shifting from one side to the other. You can kind of see me turning my shoulders back. That just kind of gets my transverse abdominals a little bit. I can feel it in the external obliques are tight. Oh. Okay. And just pushing back. One more time, letting the lower back relax. All right, guys. Hopefully you learned a little something today. You found a little bit. You can go back and reuse this stretching mobility routine on off days. You can use it post-workout. If you're following along on run2gun.com, our member section, you'll see there's some mobility at the end of every one. A lot of it's the same every day because it just targets some main areas that works well. But these little routines you can take and just build into what works well for you. You can always have something in your arsenal to help you feel better, or to also obviously to prevent injuries, to prevent these things from happening. Very important, especially as you're prolonging your exercise lifespan, right? So we're like 3 weeks away from Nevada elk hunt, and then we also have an antelope hunt down there I haven't talked a lot about, so it's gonna be a long hunt, a long haul. Really looking forward to it. But you're seeing the part of the training side that I haven't talked about much, the recovery aspect. Very important to listen to your body, not over push, especially as you're getting close to your hunt. I'm 3 weeks out. Last thing I want is a back injury. Now, tweak my back, is it gonna be better in 3 weeks? Yes, it probably will be better in 3 weeks for myself. But the amount of training then, the intensity of training is so limited during that time because I want to heal. It would affect my condition. And so we want to be smart. We want to stay in the most peak condition we can as an athlete, and really think about the science of things, and remember that a day to recover is okay. You're going to need them in there. And I trained really hard the last 2 weeks, had a lot of two-a-days, And so my body's probably telling me right now, like, dude, you need a little bit more recovery. Went hard yesterday on a Sunday. Normally I take Saturday, Sunday off. I actually moved up my days off this week to Friday, Saturday, because I was just wrecked by Friday last week. But I went really hard yesterday for an hour and a half on a little mountain weight pack. And I got right back into it 12 hours later here in a workout. So body's probably just telling me I need a little more recovery, need some more liquids. I think I'm a little dehydrated. So we're gonna come back at this tonight after a full day of food and liquid, try to get in some more exercise after this mobility, and we'll do a stretch again. So thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode. Hope you have a great yesterday. If you have questions, always shoot them at me. I'm always happy to help. This is what I do for a living. Love to help you guys out. We'll talk to you later.